I wasn't really expecting to have to do another one of these videos, but I guess there are some really nasty people in this world. So here we go. Dear Nicole Arbour, I have seen some of your videos on YouTube after a friend telling me about it and how they just thought that you were an unfunny, quite rude person. And I didn't really think anything of it, and I decided to have a look at some of your videos. I even subscribed to your channel to be sure that I could watch all of them, and I was utterly shocked. I just don't understand how someone can really say the things that you do. Well, by now I bet you're thinking, who the hell is this kid? He's just some long-haired, floppy-looking teenager. Well, that brings me on to my first point, and it's that all of your videos really, and all of the points that you make are really only focused on the really superficial aspects of what make people a person. And it really bugs me, and it bugs everyone else. You're trying to come across as this really intelligent person who has many points to say, yet all of your points seem to be related to appearance or just the way people act that you don't really like. And that, I mean, there's so much more to a person than that, and for some reason you just don't seem to notice it. For example, your Dear Instagram Models video. The whole thing was just saying that these people are essentially a waste of space, that they're not contributing anything in any shape or form to society. Well, I mean, why does that really matter? These people are doing something that they clearly enjoy, and it gives them a sense of fulfillment. And why is it up to you to decide that that is completely worthless and not worth doing? I even watched a response to that video from people who are Instagram models, and there is so much more to them than what you are saying. And for you to just sort of make sweeping statements the way that you do undervalues these people as people, and it just makes you seem like a worse person than you already are. But I guess you didn't even bother trying to look at these response videos, because if you did, I mean, you should try and make changes if you do have any soul whatsoever. Now, on the topic of the sweeping statements that you are making, it just brings me to the stereotypes that you're also making in some of your videos. Your Dear Feminist video, for example, was just absolutely absurd. I was offended, and I'm not even a woman. And that just goes to show how stupid some of the things that you were saying. I mean, the way that you were talking about them was as if you were comparing them to men but with ovaries, and it was just absolutely stupid. I've got a lot of friends who are feminists, and they are nothing like the way you've described. What you're talking about accounts for only a very small proportion of what actually exists, and because they do have quite a voice, they're obviously the thing that sticks in your mind, and they stick in the mind of a lot of people. But for you to just blurt it out like this on a social media, and for you to have a following, just makes that stereotype stick more, and it really needs to change, because I mean, the gender inequality is obviously there, and it's something that needs to be changed. And for you, being a woman, to undervalue that, I just don't understand why you're trying to set things back for women when they're trying so hard to make progress. Now, this brings me on to my next point about the general hypocrisy of everything that you're saying. In your Dear Instagram Models video, your general message was that these people are there to look pretty, they're doing everything for free, and that they're not wanted outside of Instagram. And it just makes me realise that that's kind of what you're doing. I mean, in all of your videos, you're wearing incredibly skimpy outfits to accentuate your features, and you're obviously wearing a ton of makeup, and it doesn't take a genius to work that out. So you are just there trying to be pretty, and I mean, the things that you're saying, you may as well not be saying them, because you know that people are just going to focus on you. And I mean, I guess that's really what you want. And I mean, outside of YouTube, what exactly are you wanted for? I've seen on your Twitter that you've been at some really low key launch events at clubs, but I mean, no one really wants someone like you, because the controversy that you generate just makes people loathe you rather than like you, and it just creates infamy rather than fame for you. And is that really what you want? I guess that you've seen YouTube as your quick route to fame, and by you making statements that are controversial, you think that it's going to make you stand out more. But it's making you stand out for all of the wrong reasons. And I just hope that you do realise this, because I have been on your channel and some of your videos are genuinely quite funny. And these are the videos where you are making actual comedy that doesn't occur at the expense of other people. And if you can try and hone in on that, well, you've got it made. You are a very pretty person and you do have some very funny things that you can say. But if you just try and stick to controversial subjects, then you just won't get anywhere, especially with the way that you're doing it. The whole point of pointing out things that are wrong in society is to try and make better, not just say, there's a problem, ha ha ha, it's really funny. I mean, what you're doing is akin to seeing that a house is on fire, noticing that there's a fire truck right next to it and thinking, screw it, I'm just going to pee on it. And I mean, that's what you're doing, and you're not really trying to do anything that makes anything better for anyone. If you were to follow this and actually try and give some constructive criticism, then I guess you won't have the amount of controversy that you're wanting to have. So just leave it alone. People know that things are a problem, and you don't need to point it out and make it worse for the people who are already going through this. And that it does relate back to your dear fat people. I hate that you've called it dear fat people, by the way. And I mean, you haven't seen what I've seen. I'm a medical student, and I've been to countless medical wards where there have been obese people. And I mean, I'd be sitting there trying to get a history from them, and they would be eating, and all of a sudden they'd realise that they're eating, and they just started crying on me. And I was like, well, what's going on? And they were like, I don't even know why I'm eating. I don't even remember picking this up. And it just highlights that there is a problem that these people are trying to go through, and they do need genuine help. And for you to just take the mick out of something like that, it's so inhuman of you. And there are people out there who are trying to sort these problems out. But then if there are people like you who are just making these people feel like less of a person, they're not going to have the motivation to try and get better, and they're going to seek comfort in the things that they already have comfort in, which is food. So you're just making things worse than they already are. So that analogy that I made of you just peeing on the house, you're not peeing on the house, you're just adding fire to it. And I guess you already know that what you're doing isn't popular, because you're not allowing people to comment on the majority of your videos or allow people to see the like to dislike ratio, because you know it's horrendous. And on the ones that you have left it on, it's obvious. Like, no one likes your videos, and the people who do like your videos are probably very controversial in and of themselves, or they're just liking it for the sake of liking it. But then if you go down to the comments section, there isn't a single thing that I've seen that has been positive towards your videos. And I guess, I mean, there's the proof. People don't like you the way that you're making comedy. So please just try and change, because, as I said, there are parts to your videos that are funny, and if you can just hone in on that, then you'll become more successful than you already are. I've seen the reply that you made to Matt Santaro, and I saw a very vulnerable looking person who is in tune with her emotions and isn't this very almost rigid and emotionless person who doesn't care about what other people think, because you obviously do. And I hope that that video was genuine, because it just showed another side to you that for some reason you didn't want other people to see, because you brought it down shortly after. But try and hone in on that, because you are a person and people will like you for who you are if you can continue to make actual comedy. I mean, I hope that you do end up seeing this, and I hope that I do influence you in some way. Yeah, that's the end of this video. And for those of you who are watching my channel for the reasons why I made my channel, I will be making a video next week about things that are related to trying to help people with eating disorders. For now, thanks for watching.